Hey, here we are again on Create Your Health. My name's Peter Bedard, and in a moment we're going to be going inside here at the Jade Pearl to see Jane Demian. Jane is a RN, she's a licensed acupuncturist and an herbologist. Let's go say hi.
Well, an herbalist is someone who has a knowledge of the 500 to 1,000 herbs that are available for people to use, and is able to take the herbs and put them into a formula, and then dispense those herbs based on the signs and symptoms that a patient presents. A formula is constructed basically with what's called a module. These 4 herbs are considered to be a basic module of herbs, and they're used in hundreds of formulas, these 4.
So these are sort of like the building blocks.
This is like a building block,
okay.
and they're called 4 gentlemen because there are 4 really elegant herbs, and
okay.
they work in synergy with each other to create a situation where you resolve dampness, you improve spleen qi, and you tonify the body.
Okay.
And as you add and subtract different kinds of herbs, you will build different names for the formula. These are actual plants, and they have been dried and cut up. So you would take portions of each one of these herbs, would put them in a bag, and you'd send them home with you, and you've done this before. You put it in a clay pot, pour water into it, usually to cover the herbs, and then you boil it for a period of time. The whole room becomes
It's a process.
aromatic.
It's a really long process. But there's a new way. There's sort of the modern version of doing this. Tell me about, I guess it would be the
powder or tablets or a tincture. A lot of people don't have time to boil the herbs, even though they probably have good intentions to do it. I'm one of them. I've tried doing it, and it just takes really a long time. So I prefer using the powders, and really what a powder is you've taken all of these herbs and grind them up, pulverize them, and it's weighed out. And there's a certain amount that you would use in a special spoon. You put the spoonful into hot water, and you would drink the powder. Now, some people don't want to use powders, so we just give tablets, and they're pretty easy to digest. You do want to eat them, take them with room temperature water. It doesn't have to be hot water. We don't really use cold water in Chinese medicines. It creates more of a constriction, especially in the digestion.
The cold tightens things up.
Exactly.
So you actually would cool down faster by drinking room temperature water than, because your body has to heat up the cold water in order to process it. So you're actually creating more heat in your body by drinking the cold water.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
Ah,
very well said.
See, I like that.
Well said. Very Chinese of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Grasshopper. You guys heard it here. No more ice water.
Try to use room temperature water if you can.
What does tincture mean?
Tincture means that it's been prepared and distilled in alcohol. Okay. And so it's a much more concentrated form. So you'd only use a few drops.
Tell us a little bit about qi.
Well, qi is the energy that flows through the body, and the way I like to describe it, they're like pathways or rivers or freeways or whatever you might want to call it. And if there's a blockage, if there's a blockage in plumbing or something,
sort of an accident on the freeway,
like an accident on the freeway, then that's called stagnation.
Stopping traffic, kind of thing.
And if there's blockage in one area, there may be deficiency in another.
What's the most common reason they come to see you?
They'll come to me for various complaints that may be physical in nature. And what I do is I try to find out what's the emotional basis for it. So if somebody has low back pain, I'll try to find out what's really going on in their life to create that pain. There could be some kidney weakness, kidney meaning not the kidney organ, but kidney, the metaphor.
When you talk about the kidney or the spleen or the liver, Chinese medicine evolved, what, 5,000 years ago?
Yeah, if not longer.
Right.
Well, anatomically, we call certain organs certain names, and the Chinese are using these organs metaphorically to represent the meridians that flow from these organ systems. So the spleen doesn't necessarily mean that we're treating the spleen per se. We might be treating the pancreas or the digestion or the enzymes, that kind of thing.
If somebody came to see you, what would be the first process? What would you do?
I would sit down with them and we would talk. I would get them on the table. I would check their tongue and pulse. I would do an exam on them. And I would just have you sit comfortably. And I put my fingers very lightly on your pulse. And I'm going to be checking 3 different levels. And I want to go very lightly at first. And then I'm going to press a little bit more deeply to check the second level. There are 3 pulses on each wrist.
So you're actually, when you say pulse, you mean the pulse of the blood moving through?
The pulse of the blood.
Okay.
But it's moving through, in this area, I'm checking 3 different organs. So this would be heart, liver, and kidney yin on this side.
Interesting.
And I'm also checking for the level and the quality. So it's kind of like I'm checking to find out, how is the river flowing? And then, of course, I would check your tongue. You want to show
Should I stick my tongue out at you? Okay,
do you
sure.
want to show the camera your tongue?
Sure. Bye.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So, see, there is that tongue coating. If you have a thick tongue coating, that tells me there's some internal mechanism that's going on, possibly in your digestion. And it could be that you're not digesting something happening in your life. Okay, which may be affecting your digestion.
Oh, so not digesting something on an emotional level that is then having a physical response.
Yes. This particular system utilizes the patient's own healing process, whereas the Western model kind of treats symptoms. So what we want to do is get more to the root of an issue. And if that means dealing with emotional issues, then that's where we're going to start.
All right, and how often would somebody come and see you?
In the very beginning, I kind of want to see a person at least once a week to kind of make sure that everything's working well, and I certainly am available by phone and by email. So we want to stay in close contact, especially when we're first starting herbs. And then after they've gotten the hang of it and we modify a little bit, then they come back maybe once a month. And we do a tune-up. Well,
I'm going to have to come to you because I love doing this. I mean, I had such a great benefit from doing it, and my energy level was awesome when I would do it. It would just take so long, and now that I know we can do the powders,
tablets,
it's very exciting.
Tincture,
yeah, powders, tablets, tincture. Thank you, Jane. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed all of this, and I learned a lot. I mean, this is really cool. So thank you again to you for tuning in to another segment of Create Your Health. Bye.